It has been a while, but I am back and I am ready to get started. I have a new microphone and I'm hoping that it's awesome and everybody loves it. So if you do, I would love to see a thumbs up. I'm going to, as always, drop in the link for any of our VIP guests to come and join us live on screen. If you are wanting to join the conversation with myself every week, you can join our group and we will drop that link in there. Let's see. Bear with me, guys. Hang on one second. Today we're going to be talking about marketing operations and the four mistakes that I see people do a lot, and how we can not do that. I'm going to give you some tips on how to not make these mistakes, what you can do instead, and how, if you do make them, kind of some tips and tricks on how to kind of like rewind it back a little bit. So, join me live on screen for today's broadcast. All right, I'm dropping this in here. Anybody who is in my group gets to join live if they so choose. Let's post that. There we go. All right. Okay. Everybody. And all right. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about the 4 common marketing mistakes, marketing operations mistakes that I see and how to avoid them. And then I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to not do that, basically how to avoid it and how to completely get over that and not make those mistakes, because bad marketing operations can really affect your business. It can really make things difficult, and we're all about giving you back more time, working smarter, not harder. So this falls under that category. All right, number 1 is neglecting data data maintenance. Data maintenance is huge, because if you have a large following, if the larger you grow, the more data you're collecting. And data can be anything. It's basically every customer touch point, right? So name, email, how they got there. I mean, all of those things are data. So when you hear people talk about data, they're talking about customers, they're talking about sales, they're talking about every piece and part of your business. If you have any type of software at all, like if you're using email, your email list, those are data touch points. Every single email is a data touch point, right? It gets super geeky, but if you are not doing regular data maintenance, you are doing yourself a disservice, because the larger your list grows, the larger and the more data that you collect, if you're not regularly cleaning it and you're not regularly looking at it to make sure that it's accurate, you're going to have a lot of duplicate records. You're going to have a lot of inaccuracies, and ultimately it's going to lead to you missing out on opportunities because of your inaccuracy, right? Like when you have the wrong email or the wrong phone number, what does that mean? You can't contact your customers. If you have a wrong email with the right phone number, more phone calls, more time, that kind of thing. So you have to look every month when you're first starting out. If you're small, that's great and that's fine, because the smaller you are, the better habits you're going to get into now. Like you can create and generate habits for data cleaning and to ensure accuracy and consistency, so that as you grow, it's sustainably going to grow with you, so that you have methods put into place so that you can make sure your data is clean no matter what size your business is. Okay? So do not overlook the importance of data maintenance and management, and understanding the accuracies of the information that you're collecting. I would say monthly audits when you're first starting out. Like we do quarterly, but that's because we've got a pretty strict process in place. Like we know who our customers are, and we know the cleanliness of our data. Once you kind of put those actions into place and those steps and frameworks into place to clean your data, you'll be able to lengthen the time. The second one, and there's no surprise here, right? If you've been following me at all, you know I'm a huge automation freak, geek, right? If that's what you want to call it. Overlooking automations, right? Like, do not overlook automation opportunities. They are huge for time savings, boosting productivity, getting rid of and streamlining, repetitive tasks. That's the big one, is repetitive tasks. If you find yourself doing the same thing day after day after day after day, 99% always there's 99% of the time there's a way to automate that. Don't keep manually doing something over and over and over again. If you have questions, just drop me a line, and I can at least tell you whether it's something that can be automated or not. I mean, we've automated so many things for so many people over the last 10 years that I'm sure if you're doing it on a repetitive basis and it's something that's taking you, even if it's 15 minutes every day, or 15 minutes 3 times a day, you do the napkin math, it adds up, and it takes a lot of time. Time is money. I don't know about you, but I'm building a lifestyle. I want to spend more time with my family and my friends and not working. And that's where automation comes into play for me. Putting systems in place so that I don't have to spend as much time down in the weeds with my business. We help customers do that by pinpointing, like, we have them create a list of tasks where you spend all your time. And these get really granular. Like, you spend 25 minutes on LinkedIn. You spend X amount of time replying in the DMs in Facebook. You send out X amount of emails every day. Like, you do that. Like, I want to know each individual tasks. You pay your bills every first Tuesday of the month, and it takes you X amount of hours. You pay your vendors depending on what type of business you have, and all of the different tasks. I want to know all of them. So when we work with people, we have them give us their entire list of tasks, daily, weekly, monthly, and then we kind of reverse engineer and figure out what's the most important, what's the most revenue generating task there is, and then reverse engineer off of that, right? So if you're a local service provider, bookings and payments those are the 2 most important things. Getting people in the door and having them book an appointment and having them pay for their appointment, right? If you're a retail store, it's getting people in the door. And again, it's, a retail store, a local retail store is the same thing. Foot traffic, payments, right? Product inventory, and all of that stuff is important. But if people aren't coming to your store and they're not buying from you and they don't know who you are, there's nothing, there's no reason to keep ordering inventory if they're not buying. So there's just different things like that. A lot of smaller business owners don't do this very often. They don't prioritize the list of tasks, and they don't break it down by each individual task and then figure out what they can automate, outsource, or eliminate. Those are the only 3 things you have to worry about. Can you automate this so it's off your plate? Can you have someone else do it for you, pay somebody else to do it, or can you eliminate it completely if it's not important to the business? If it's not going to make or break your business, you probably don't need it. All right, cross-team collaboration. This is huge. If you have a small team, even if it's a team of, you're a solopreneur and you have contractors, cross-team collaboration it's insanely important because of the amount of inefficiencies that happen when you don't talk to each other. If you're a larger organization and you have a sales team and you have a marketing team and they are not talking to each other and they're each doing their own individual tasks and their own individual silos, and this is very much top down, right? So if you're in a larger organization where you have a CEO, you have an executive suite that's sitting on top, and they have managers underneath them, and then then there's people underneath them, it has to come from the top. And if the sales and marketing teams are not working together at the same goals, it's never going to work. There's seamless communication and collaboration between teams has to be there. Everyone has to work together, and you all have to go after the same goals. You all have to work off the same standard operating procedures and protocols. You all have to promote the same things. Cross alignment is huge. If you are a larger organization and you have teams that are working in silos, it is going to you might be a very successful company, but it's probably painful, and it is always going to be painful unless you can figure out how to get over that cross team collaboration and really, really talk to each other. It's a big deal, and it can be extremely frustrating for anyone working for you if that's not there. And some really kind of quick and easy ways to help get rid of that or help negate that problem. Ideas, feedbacks, insights, establish an open feedback, like an open door policy, where no matter if you are someone that just graduated college and this is your first job, all the way up to the vice president of sales, you have an open door policy. You have this policy where no idea is stupid. Everyone can submit their ideas. Everyone can submit their feedback. Everyone is allowed to contribute. And you look at them holistically. And if you have to do that, so it doesn't make people uncomfortable, one of my suggestions would be to do that anonymously, right? Put it all in a hat. I'm not even kidding, right? Like you fold it up on a piece of paper and you do like a feedback day and you throw stuff up on the wall, and you will be amazed at the stuff that you see that comes out of all of your team members. It's insane, because you're going to find some of the best ideas come from the people that maybe haven't been in business for 10 or 15 years. Maybe they're brand new to the business world, but that's the reason their ideas are so awesome and so fresh, because they are not clouded by this is the best way we need to do it, and this is the best practice, and they don't know what they don't know. They don't know the past. They're brand spanking new, and sometimes those are the best ideas to come out of the gate with. So cross-team collaboration, please do it. The last one is failure to measure ROI. Return on investment. Okay, so I don't know how many times I have talked to companies and organizations and brands and even just managers who don't know their numbers. It's so easy to get like new campaigns, initiatives, like it's all stuff. It's all exciting. It's super fun, right? Like people get into this stuff. If you're not measuring the success of what you're working on, you shouldn't be working on it. Because what the heck's the point? If you know that, and the success doesn't have to necessarily be actual sales dollars. It could be you want to get 50 signups to your free community so that you're growing your email list. Your email, we all know our email list is worth money, because then I have more people that I'm going to email and tell them about my program, or I'm going to tell them about this or that or whatever. I'm going to have this many more people to talk about my offer to, or sell my product or service to. So it doesn't have to be necessarily sales, but you have to measure your return on investment. And I know a lot of companies that are very, very large do not like to measure time and money, like time, if you have 15 people working on something, that is crap. It's totally worth it. And it's still something that's trackable, because you're going to see the results down the road, especially for certain projects. If it's an email campaign and you're trying to grow a list, and you're trying to grow a list by 152,000 followers, like, it doesn't even matter what the number is, that is still a trackable thing. That is still measuring the return on the investment of time that you put in. Maybe it's not a dollar amount, but you're still measuring the time. And you can, even if you really want to measure the time, like the investment, you can figure out, you can get really granular with your math, and you can figure out how much each customer on your email list is worth. And if you grow that by 50 people, then it's going to increase that by X amount of dollars. And if you bill out at $60 an hour, you can do the math and you can figure out what the actual dollars, like if you're a marketing director or your VP of sales or whoever, your VP of marketing, your CEO, whoever it is, if you're somebody and you're reporting to somebody else that's requiring you to do the math, do the math. It's out there. You can do that napkin math. It's really easy to figure out. There's so many different types of calculations and like templates for those types of calculations. If they really require the math, show them the math. Show them why growing your email list by 50 people is a lot. If you have a 10,000 person email list and you want to grow it by 5,000 to up it to 15,000, show them why. Show them what that ROI will do for the company, the bottom line, and the revenue, right? If you're not measuring these, start. Like, and it can be really, really, really simple. And like I said, it doesn't have to be anything super fancy. If you're smaller, you should set a couple of goals for yourself. You should set, 3 big goals for the year. I usually do 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 months, 10 years. Sorry, 10, 10, 10, right? What do I want to get done in 10 minutes from now? What do I want to get done in 10 weeks from now? What do I want to accomplish by 10 months from now? What do I want to accomplish in 10 years? Where do I want to be? And so I usually then kind of reverse engineer those goals backwards, because I like smaller chunks of time. I know I have a friend of mine in my networking group, and he does 5 minutes. He does 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And, he just shrunk the time a little bit, but it's still the same thing. You have to figure out what your measurement of time is. And if you're a long goal person, I mean, great for you, but I'm telling you, it's easier when you're measuring smaller chunks of time. It's easier when you're giving your brain a break in between. That's why the 10 minutes, 10 minutes, that's why it works for me. Like 10 minutes from now, I'm going to be done with this episode. I'm going to be done with this live, and I'm going to go get some water and maybe some lunch. So it's kind of one of those things where if you measure your goals as, if you think of every goal as kind of a data-driven decision or a business decision, so life and business, right? So remember, in this group, no work-life balance. It's all life, and it's how you want to spend your life. So you have to think about it from that perspective. What do you want to accomplish in the next half an hour? What do you want to accomplish today? What do you want to accomplish this week? What do you want to accomplish? Break it down to smaller bite-sized chunks, because when you actually accomplish what you want to accomplish, you are going to be filled with dopamine and be so excited and so happy that you've accomplished the thing that you set out to accomplish. And that it's like fueling. It gives you the dopamine fuel to keep going. Okay, so total soapbox moment there. Sorry about that. All right, so let's go back over the 4 things, right? Because we're coming up on time. Neglecting data maintenance and management is 1. Overlooking automation is 2. Ignoring cross-team collaboration is 3. And then failure to measure and track ROI is 4. Those are the 4 marketing operations mistakes that I see so many people make. Once you set some real hard goals for yourself and you manage those 4, you're going to see a lot of your operations. It's going to tremendously help your operations team, first of all, because they're going to know what they're going after, what their goals are, what they're going after, what they should be measuring, what they should be tracking. And your data and your information is going to be so much cleaner. That data maintenance, I can't stress enough the importance of that. Accurate information, accurate data is so huge. Just don't ignore it. It's because if you continue to scale and your data's crap to begin with, it's just going to get crappier as you get bigger. So put that in place now. And of course, the baby automation, yeah, that is the thing I'm always going to be talking about. That is the thing I'm always going to be preaching, and that's the thing that's always going to save you time when done right. So make sure to pay attention to that. And that is all I have for today. I am just checking to see if anyone has questions. I don't think I see any coming in, but you never know. Let me just make sure. It doesn't look like it. So that's all I got for today. And if anyone else is, or if you do have questions, I'll stay on for a few more minutes. There's a few housekeeping things that we are going to talk about. We are still going to be doing Tuesday Go Lives like this. We are offering a new program. We're going to be starting a podcast, which is super cool. It's called The Queen of Automation, and I'm very, very excited about it. And stay tuned for that. We're going to be interviewing and talking with multi-six figures up to seven-figure founders and talking about their operations and their digital systems and how they run their businesses, and talk about their what they love about operations, what they hate about operations, and kind of get geeky with them, and really talk about digital experience on a whole new level. So stay tuned for that. We're in the process of interviewing businesses right now. You don't have to be a big business if you're interested, and you have any interest in jumping on the podcast and talking about some of this stuff with me live, and digital experience, and what you love about it and hate about it and all of the above. Let me know, drop me a line, and we'll be in touch. And we can do a quick call to see if it's something you're interested in, and then we can book you on the show. All right, guys, that is it for now, and happy Tuesday. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.